Okay, hopefully this internet connection holds up together. If it doesn't, oh well. All right, today got some stuff I wanna go over, and some of this I've already said before, but I cannot emphasize enough the warnings that I want to bring, and I don't want to bring warnings for fear. Okay, a lot of things that I said years ago that nobody listened to are starting to happen now. I'm not one that God takes me by the hand and runs me off and lets me see heaven and also the future and the past and all those things. And I'm not knocking it if that has happened to somebody. I'm just one that can read the handwriting on the wall. So, and again, I don't have a $1 million, millions of dollars ministry to go out and I can't make up stories. I'm not saying people do, but I can't make up some great, wonderful story for people to listen to gain followers. I just want to give some information. I'm at the point I don't care what people think anymore. I mean, I can bring up some stuff and people may argue with me. I may be wrong, but so may the other people. I'm only human, but I believe I have some good points. Now, everybody sees what's going on today in this world. And a lot of people may say, this stuff happens all the time. Well, let's just look at a few things. We all know about the people crossing the border. A lot of people crossing the border. We don't know who's come across the border, and I don't want to be political about that. But I'll tell you, I even heard back in the 80s there was underground facilities being prepared for something against our country. That was how many years ago? So, what if a few thousand of all the many people that come across the border is working with some of these underground facilities, and who's to say they're not making weaponry and preparing for something? If 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 I tell you that is happening, maybe I'm foolish. But if you tell me it can't be happening, that is even more foolish. Because it could. I'm not saying that 2024 the world's coming to an end. I'm not saying 2025 the world's coming to an end because I don't know. What I do know is the United States of America at the time of the end is no longer going to be the predominant superpower. Whether that be a year, 2, 10, 20, 30, 50, I don't know. Because the Bible states of this Antichrist, and who shall stand against him? And indications is it's from the Middle East. So let's just by looking what's going on, all right? Do we have a chance of having an internal war? Maybe terrorist groups within our own country that may want to stir up trouble? Are we in a chance of an external war? Yeah. Before I go much farther, I wanted to state there was a man I listened to years ago, a Baptist preacher, that was in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. And he got to meet with the elite of the world. And these elite of the world would tell things that was going to happen, and they happened, such as the oil crisis in the 70s, where we didn't have any oil anymore. Anyway, but this group of elite people to be able, according to whatever beliefs they had, believed that they were obligated to tell people what is going to happen, whether it be like through movies, throw things out there in the news, whatever. That they would prepare people such a way to let them know something's happening. External war. How many times? Every day I almost see it. World War III, World War III, World War III. Huh. Disease. Do we have a chance of a disease? There was on the other day the disease X. Pandemic. Okay. They're scared of something that isn't here yet. Prepare for it. Get ready. Get a vaccine ready. How do you get a vaccine ready for something that ain't here yet? Then at the same time, China supposedly had made a COVID that kills rats, 100% kill rate. So is it possible that disease of that magnitude could be spread throughout the world? Remember COVID? Famine. If we were to have an internal war, external war, would we have famine? Would we have an economic crash? Could we have an EMP? Or could the sun, as active as it is, spew out rays to knock out power? Am I saying these things are going to happen? I don't know. But I'm telling you, the Bible talks about wars, rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. Now, are you going to have to go all the way through until they stamp a mark on your head of the beast before you believe that it's true? All right, now with that, here's the point where I'm going to get in trouble. Many people say, well, I'm not worried about it because God will take care of me. I'm not saying he won't. God took care of the Israelites in Egypt too. But how did he do it? Through Joseph, who prepared. So, and I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but if you ain't got enough power to pray for a cold, do you have the faith for you just sit in your home and a crow's going to come knocking at your door and deliver food? I'm not saying you can't do that, but why does he warn us in the Bible of the things that are coming? Then you may say, well, I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go in the rapture. Now you may ask, Alan, how does that apply? I'm glad you asked. I have some questions. We don't know when the rapture is going to happen. We don't know. Some people say pre-trib. Some people say mid-trib. Some people say post-trib. My question is, the Bible speaks of 3.5 years of great tribulation. The 7 years is not implied as a part of tribulation, whether it is or whether it isn't. There is 7 years that Daniel is talking about that is missing, but it does not say 7 years of tribulation. So if you're saying pre-trib, you mean pre the 3.5 years of tribulation? You mean in the middle of the 3.5 years of tribulation? Which is it you mean? All right. Many people believe the rapture will happen before all this. And many people believe that things are going to happen before the Antichrist signs a treaty, which is a questionable event. Daniel 9:27 is where people get about the covenant being signed. And again, some people interpret that to mean something different. Personally, I don't know. But I wouldn't bank my soul on it. So my point is, whether there is a covenant signed for 7 years and he breaks in the middle of it, people rest on a pre-trib, and I pray that the rapture happens pre-tribulation. Please, Jesus, come. But don't bet your soul on it, because people may have told you something wrong. People have made millions off of movies from it. People have made millions from books off of it. Don't bet your soul on it. It may be, but it may not be. And you may say, well, what do you know? I read the same Bible they did. They ain't no smarter than I am. Some may argue. Anyway, people will tell you that the rapture happens beforehand because the fact it says that we won't see his wrath. Well, number one, does that mean the wrath of God in a burning hell? Or does that mean the wrath that comes in chapter 15 of Revelation? Revelation 15:6. And the 7 angels came out of the temple, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden girdles. And of the 4 beasts gave unto the 7 angels 7 golden vials, full of the wrath of God, who liveth forever and ever. So if you want to stand on the part that you won't see the wrath, then it has to be before 15:7, right? Another thing is, who is to say that much of Revelation is written linear? That one event happens here, one event happens here, one event happens here, a lot of that may not be that way. So without going all over, I used to have a little thing all typed up and I handed them out, and I only got bits and pieces of it left. But my question is, I'm going to read a verse here, Revelation 15:2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who are these people? They got the victory over the beast. Now in Revelation 13, it says the Antichrist is going forth overcoming the saints. He's killing them. And now here in 15, here's people that overcame him. Can you have it both ways? Be open-minded about this. Can you have it both ways? They overcame the beast, now they're in heaven. Does it mean they died and overcame? Doesn't sound like it. Now another thing is, about the rapture, is right before that. It talks about a harvest. A harvest. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Who's that? And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud. Sounds a little bit like 1 Thessalonians. Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time has come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. That's right before you see all these people standing in heaven. But now if the rapture happened before that, how can this be? All right? Now the funny thing is about that is, that's the harvest. Is that the rapture? Now before that, Revelation 14:3, just before the harvest, okay? And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man can learn a song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. What do you think that means? Redeemed from the earth. Then it says, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and the Lamb. All right, Don, I read you a harvest, then I read you first fruits. Okay, so if the rapture happened a long time ago before that, how can that happen before the first fruits? When you have a harvest of a field, the first fruits are the first fruits. Now, another verse that I know is used for pre-trib, it talks about he won't let you see the hour of trial. Well, you can twist that to mean a lot of different things. Now, another thing, Daniel 12:1. Now, it just gets through talking about various things happened before that. I don't have all that in front of me. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for thy children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Now listen, and at that time thy people shall be delivered. Look up that word delivered. It means to escape as in slipperiness. What does that sound like? Every one that shall be found written in the book. Does that sound like a bunch of people were taken and a bunch of people left? You got to line everything up. Okay? Now, my theory, again, these things that I'm telling you, years ago, I prayed to God. I was a staunch pre-trib, before a treaty signed, rapture person. And I asked God to show me the truth. Again, he did not take me by the hand and lead me all through different places. All of a sudden, I started opening the Bible, and these verses, they started jumping out at me and coming alive, and I started going, whoa, whoa, whoa. And they started making so much more sense to me. Do I hope I'm wrong? Yeah. But no matter what anybody says, I have to go by this, because I ask, and this is what I was led to. All right, now, another issue I have, if I can find it. Okay, now, when people say that in a pre-trib, and again, I'm not knocking it. I hope it's right. But and I'm saying all this because everybody thinks, everything's all going to be peachy keen. I'm getting out of here. I'm not having any problems, so I think I can go live worldly, and then I'm out of here. Don't think that way. Now, in Thessalonians, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ and our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means. That day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So how can you go before the son of perdition be revealed? Answer me that. It's right here. twist it every way you want. But that says it ain't going to happen till he's revealed. So, it may not be for years to come, but it may be coming sooner than you think. Again, they're talking World War III. Russia's talking about shooting a nuke, talking about starting war with Europe. North Korea is trying to, and Iran is trying to side up with Russia. China and Taiwan is going on, and China don't like us either. We are at $34 trillion worth of debt. How can we fund a major war? And we're getting rid of all our ammo right and left, fighting in another war. We have wars and rumors of wars is going on. People may say, well, that's happened for like this. Threatening nuclear war? Now the earthquakes have gone on for a long time. Now let me bring out another point. Now this may sound a little crazy to you, but this is something that I feel a lot of people it talks about in Thessalonians. He who letteth till he be taken out of the way, and people say that's the church. Now, the church is referred to feminine in some places, and then they say that's the church, and then it's all of a sudden masculine. I have issues with that. Now, my understanding is Michael is protector over Israel. Now, he goes up to fight in a war in heaven and throws out Lucifer. And that's when Lucifer gets cast to the earth and he joins up with the Antichrist. Okay, so when I read about the part, and at that time Michael shall stand up. At that time, that also means arises. My interpretation of that is Michael, he's protecting Israel. He rises to go up to fight in the war, and he was the restrainer. And he gets taken out of the way. Then Israel doesn't have Michael there to protect him. And the Gentiles are all around the city. Now again, I went through this rather quickly. And I've read this. I've tried to go at all the various interpretations. But I believe a lot of people, it's wishful thinking as far as the rapture takes place beforehand. We may have to go through some of the great tribulation. Some people may be murdered for their belief. Yeah. That Daniel sounds just like a rapture, and it says everyone that's written in the book. Does God pull everybody out? Does he squeeze every last person out before he allows his wrath to hit the earth? Think about it. Are we in perilous times now? Can we just laugh it off? Let's just, forget it. We'll wait. We'll just turn on the football game. Who cares if Jesus is coming back? Who cares if we're going to have war? Who cares if the world's going to be shot? I live in the United States of America. Nothing ever going to happen to me because we're a superpower and we can't be beat. How foolish. How foolish. Look around. The main thing is keep your eye out. He could return before this. I can be wrong. I know that. I could be. And I hope I am. But what if I'm not? What if this is it? And what if it's right on the horizon? Are you ready? Are you ready? I hope you are. If you're not, please get ready. I thank you for this time. I hope somebody learned something out of it. And again, I could be right, I could be wrong. But be ready no matter what. Thank you.